What are we doing here, people? I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna ask up front. Please share this video. So I'm just gonna try to get through this one because when I first heard it, it ran straight down my spine like cold water, I'll just be honest with you. The Colorado House of Representatives just passed House Bill 1312 establishing two things. One, there is to be no punishment for transitioning children. Two, if you don't affirm whatever they can imagine up about themselves, often while being guided by adults to do so, if you speak out against transitioning kids, they call that coercive control. Translation, you're somehow a child abuser, you can lose your kids. Let's get into it.
When we were going into debate, starting the debate on House Bill 1312, the Democrat majority invoked Rule 16. Rule 16 is calling the question and it ends debate immediately and then goes directly into a vote. And I believe they did this to silence us because they know how much negative attention this has been getting nationwide. And so what they did was they silenced us and did not let us represent our constituents and talk about the issues that we have with this bill. If you recall, House Bill 1312 says that if your child is confused about their gender identity and you don't affirm that confusion, that delusion, then you are guilty of child abuse and you can lose custody of your children. Now, here's what I wanted to say from the floor of the House of Representatives that I was robbed of saying in silence. I wanted to say it is not me, it is not my constituents, it is not the people from my side of the aisle who are pushing this gender identity crap on the kids of Colorado. They are. And what they want to do with this bill is say that if they confuse your children and you don't affirm that confusion, they will take your child from you.
House Bill 1312 seeks to penalize dead naming and misgendering as discriminatory actions and to mandate the courts to include such claims in determining the allocation of parenting time in custody cases. In other words, if you don't accommodate delusion, you can lose your kids.
Standing up for civil rights is not compromisable.
This is not protecting children, it's weaponizing the courts against parents.
Republican lawmakers argue House Bill 1312 says if a parent doesn't support their child's transition or gender identity, they could lose custody.
All this does is lay out very clearly that supporting a child's gender identity as a parent is in the best interest of the child.
Democratic Representative Rebecca Stewart is one of the bill's sponsors. She says the bill expands anti-discrimination protection for trans individuals. It says courts can't punish parents or revoke custody rights for allowing their child to receive gender-affirming health care. But it also allows a court to consider that dead naming or misgendering, for example, can be a form of coercive control and then taken into consideration when deciding custody disputes.
That may or may not ultimately play into a judge's decision. We are just making it very clear that this is something that may be considered.
Wait a minute, one sec. And rewind, and yeah. So literally 2 seconds ago in this clip, shall? I thought she just very clearly said that it was just something that could be considered. So very quickly, I'm just going to look up the text of the bill, and on literally page 1, a court shall consider. The word shall means a lot. A court shall consider reports of coercive control when determining the allocation of parental responsibilities in accordance with the best interests of the child. So she's lying. Don't that go figure? It's not could be considered, it's shall be considered. You shall lose your kids. At this point, I hope you're thinking what I'm thinking. Where are the parents on this? There's no way the parents are going to let this happen, but here's a problem. You see all the sponsors to this bill? Notice anything they all have in common? I can't bring myself to believe that over 50% of the parents would vote for this garbage. And if my hunch is right, that leads me to believe that the electing of these officials, if you can even call them that, was influenced enough by people who can't even have kids to lead to the passing of said garbage. So what about the parents who did oppose this? What did they have to say to these members of the House?
A well-stakeholdered bill does not need to be discussed with hate groups. Exactly. And we don't ask someone passing civil rights legislation to go ask the KKK their opinion.
I agree. There's no reason to go to the table with people who are echoing the hateful rhetoric going around about the trans community.
So the concerned parents of kids who haven't taught them to be confused about themselves don't need to be heard and are somehow comparable to the KKK. Honesty time. If I were a parent in Colorado right now, I would grab my kids and run as fast as I can to another state. Because this bill now gets passed to the Colorado State Senate, and guess what? It's also mostly Democrats. It's probably going to be passed into law. I think we need to have a conversation with ourselves in this country and figure out the direction that we want it to be before things go too far a little too late. They're definitely coming for the kids. And seriously, run. Because liberal, if you like what I do, please leave a like. They really help. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.
United States of America looks like another silent night as we're sung to sleep by philosophies that save the trees and kill the children.